My name is Teresa Crowley. I am 35 weeks pregnant. One of the things that you learn quickly as a new mom is that if your workouts aren't efficient, they're not going to happen. So one of the amazing things is they do such a great job of making your workouts fast, making them effective. Al is incredible. He knows so much about prenatal health, frankly, more than a lot of the doctors that we've talked to. And he knows a lot about what goes into the physicality of birth.
With proper supervision, there are a whole host of things that are not only appropriate for prenatal exercise, but are necessary.
My first pregnancy was really hard. Not my favorite 9 months I've ever lived. So I realized that I would have to become a lot more physically healthy to be able to get through the next 2 pregnancies. And this pregnancy has been completely different. I feel great, I have tons of energy, I'm sleeping really, really well. And incredibly, I'm actually gaining muscle while being pregnant. Usually you're used to the idea that you're just gonna get weaker and softer throughout your pregnancy.
One of the other biggest misconceptions is that intense exercise is bad for prenatal care, and it absolutely not. It's essential. A strong body for a pregnant woman will cause them to rebound much faster after the pregnancy. In addition, it will strengthen the musculature that's actually responsible for the process of delivery. In some ways, we see athletes all over the world prepare for a competition for 8 or 9 months. The final event being the competition. I can't think of a more intense physical event than pregnancy. It's a much more enjoyable place to start enjoying this new thing you brought into the world when you don't feel like crap physically.
One of the things that I noticed about the conventional medical system is they'll really encourage you to do the minimum, right? They'll tell you you can walk or you can do some light swimming, but the reality is birth is one of the most physically demanding things that you are ever going to do. I promise. And one of the interesting things about getting ready for birth is that a light walk is not going to do it. When you're pregnant, you certainly need to have a lot of trust with who you're working with in knowing that they're going to be able to take care of you and help you prepare for labor. There's very few people that I would trust in this process to both help me work hard and still stay safe for me and my baby. Getting ready for labor, you need to be at your best. Al's gonna get you there.
But there are a few things that we do want to avoid, and one of the things that we really address well here is keeping the activity low force. When a female is pregnant, a number of things hormonally happen in the body. One of those things is there's a release of a hormone called relaxin, which can cause laxity in the joints. High force activities in general, like CrossFit and other bounding, ballistic type of things, can cause destruction to the joint at a time during the pregnancy that it might not cause such a big problem if they weren't pregnant. So we want to lay floor of low force exercises, anything that causes huge amounts of intra-abdominal pressure or breath holding while exerting high levels of muscular effort. And that's where most people fear recommending strength training as a viable form of exercise for prenatal exercise. But the strength training isn't the problem, it's the Valsalva maneuver, or in layman's terms, breath holding. The concomitant spike in blood pressure and the other internal things that happen in the biology are potentially injurious in the wrong situation. So to mitigate any harmful effects of any exercise, we just teach people how to breathe correctly. We're just looking at certain physiological responses throughout the course of a woman's pregnancy to kind of tinker with things to be able to keep them engaged in the activity without putting not only the mother but also the baby at risk. So our environment is probably the best environment for a pregnant woman to work out in. One of the biggest no-nos for a pregnant woman is to work out in a humid environment because of the extra work that the body has to do to cool itself. Is an extra stress on the host and the fetus. So it's not something we want to put a pregnant woman through if need be. So we keep our studios extremely cold to try to provide an environment where they can perform intense exercise safely.
Al really knows how to make sure that you're still gaining muscle without having to put too much time or energy into it. Al's incredible.